Dear students and my teacher friends, Namaskar. I welcome you to the presentation lecture on the brainstem midbrain. So in this lecture today we are going to discuss about the midbrain. Okay. Now the brainstem consists of midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. So here, as you can see, the brainstem, the name is written over here, and this part, this is the midbrain. This part is the pons, and this one is the medulla oblongata. Okay, so these three regions they are included in brainstem. Okay, midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. Now the learning objective of this lecture: identify three major regions of the brain stem. So in this lecture we are focusing on the midbrain, okay, and the remaining two region, pons and medulla, we will discuss in the next lectures. Okay, so here we are discussing about the midbrain. So today we are going to discuss about the midbrain, the part of the midbrain, and the function of different functional areas of the midbrain. Okay, so here you go through this figure. Okay, for example, over here brainstem is shown. Okay, midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. Then in this figure also you see brainstem, in that midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. Try to remember the names. Okay, now we are discussing the second point. Okay, now in the brainstem, when we go to from superior part to the inferior part, from top to bottom, there are three regions. The superior part or the top part is the midbrain. The middle region is the pon. Okay, and the inferior part is the medulla oblongata. Now the length of each of this region is nearly 1 inch. Okay, it is roughly, all this region they are roughly 1 inch long, and together all three region, that means the brainstem. So the mass of brainstem, see, the total mass of brain, let's say the total mass of brain is 100%. So in comparison to total mass of the brain, the mass of brainstem is 2.5% of total brain mass. Okay, so this is the second point. Now the third point. Now in this point we are discussing about the tissue which are present in brainstem, what exactly the brainstem is made up of. So the organization of tissue in the structure of brainstem is similar to spinal cord. Now we know in the spinal cord the gray matter present in deep. Okay, and this deep gray matter is surrounded by white matter fiber tract. So similarly in brainstem also the gray matter is present in deep, and this gray matter is surrounded by white matter fiber tracts. Okay. Now the fourth point. So what is the difference between the brainstem and the spinal cord? See, brainstem has nuclei of gray matter, and this nuclei of gray matter they are embedded in, okay, they are embedded in the white matter. Okay, and a feature not found in the spinal cord. Okay, so the presence of gray matter nuclei which are embedded In the white matter, this feature is absent in spinal cord, but this feature is present in brainstem. Okay. Now moving forward, fifth point. Now, what in our body the brainstem is doing? Okay, so brainstem centers produce the rigidly programmed automatic behavior, and this complex program, this automatic behavior controlling unit brainstem, is very important for our survival. Okay, so we are alive due to the complex behavior, complex activity, complex program which are controlled by the brainstem. Now, where exactly in our brain this brainstem is present? So brainstem is positioned between the cerebrum and the spinal cord. Okay, so here the key is given for brainstem. For example, the green color is showing the midbrain, light green color is showing the pons, and dark green color is showing the medulla oblongata. Okay, so here the entire brain is shown. Okay, and in this brain, see the purple color and blue color is used for thalamus hypothalamus, that is the diencephalon. So this, you see, this is the diencephalon, and this part, this portion, okay, this part is the brainstem. So where exactly brainstem is present? So brainstem is present between our cerebrum, this is the cerebrum, okay, and here you can understand, here there is a spinal cord. So between this cerebrum and the spinal cord, the brainstem is present. Now, the brainstem also provides a pathway for fiber track, and these tracks are running between higher and lower neuronal center. So, for example, if I draw a track, okay, so let's say I am drawing a track, okay, this track, for example, then second track, okay, then the third track. So you can see all the track, they travel through, they pass through the brainstem. So brainstem is the pathway, okay, for the track to travel from higher to lower neural centers. Additionally, brainstem nuclei, they are also associated with, they are in contact with 10 cranial nerves. We know there are total 12 pairs of cranial nerve. Of this 12 pair of cranial nerve, 10 pair of cranial nerves are there in contact with brainstem. So that's why the brainstem is heavily involved in innervating the head. That means the brainstem is connecting the various regions of our brain. Okay, and see what authors are telling us. We discussed the cranial nerves and their function in chapter 13. So no problem, madam. We will meet you in chapter 13. Okay. Now the sixth point, midbrain. See, midbrain. So location of midbrain. Midbrain is located between the diencephalon and pons. Okay. So this one is the this one is the diencephalon. This one is the pons. Okay. So in between diencephalon and pons, this one this portion, this entire portion is the midbrain. Now, on its ventral aspect, that means on the ventral view or the ventral surface of midbrain, two bulging cerebral peduncle form vertical pillars. Okay, so in the figure, let's see this cerebral peduncle. So see, the name is written here, cerebral peduncle. Okay, the name is written over here, and I am showing you this one, this part. This is the cerebral peduncle, and this one is the cerebral peduncle. Okay, so these two are the cerebral peduncle. And what this cerebral peduncles are doing, so this cerebral peduncles are forming the vertical pillars that seem to hold up the cerebrum. So this these cerebral peduncles of midbrain, they are forming the pillars, and these pillars are holding the cerebrum, and that's why they are also known as little feet of the cerebrum. Okay, so in this sixth point we have discussed about the cerebral peduncles. So both the figures I am showing you. Okay, you observe the figure, okay, and try to remember all the names. Okay, ventral view and lateral view, brainstem, diencephalon, brainstem green color, diencephalon purple color. Okay, now the seventh point, see, crus cerebri. Okay, so first of all, let's say this in the figure. See, so this one is cerebral peduncle, this one is cerebral peduncle. Now inside the cerebral peduncle, crus cerebri. So this one is crus cerebri, this one is crus cerebri, this one crus, this one, this all are crus cerebri. Now what are this crus cerebri and what are their function? So see, crus cerebri, leg of the cerebrum of each peduncle, contains large pyramidal corticospinal motor tract. So in the crus cerebri, what this crus cerebri are made up of? So they are made up of large pyramidal motor tract, and this tract descend toward the spinal cord. So from here, what is happening? From this crus cerebri, the tract, the motor tract, they are descending to the tracks are here there is a spinal cord, so tracks are descending into the spinal cord from crus cerebri. So in the seventh point, we are remembering that from the crus cerebri, motor tract descend toward the spinal cord. Okay, now the eighth point, see, now in the eighth point we are discussing about the superior cerebral peduncle. Okay, this is the eighth point. We are discussing about superior cerebral peduncle. So first of all, in the figure, let's find out this. So this is over here, superior cerebral peduncle, this one, this one and this one, superior cerebral peduncle. And I'm showing you this figure. Okay, see, this is the dorsal view. Okay, so the diencephalon, midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata, all this region are shown in the dorsal view. And we are discussing about superior cerebral peduncle. So this two we are discussing. Okay, so now what are this superior cerebral peduncle? So they are also fiber tract, and this tract connect midbrain to the cerebrum. Okay, so the tract of superior cerebral peduncle, they connect midbrain to the cerebellum dorsally. Now the ninth point. Okay, so this is the ninth point. In the ninth point, we are discussing about cerebral aqueduct. Okay, so this duct, okay, this duct, this part. So see, running through the midbrain is hollow cerebral aqueduct. This one, this duct is the hollow one, hollow duct, and this aqueduct, which is the hollow one, connect the third and fourth ventricle. So here, as you can see, fourth ventricle, this one is the fourth ventricle they are showing. This is the fourth ventricle. Okay, here this part, there is a third ventricle. So in between third and fourth ventricle, the connecting link is cerebral aqueduct. Okay, now the 10th point. Let me scroll. Okay, now what this aqueduct is doing. Okay, see, this aqueduct over here also in this figure. Now first of all, what this figure is, see, here they are showing the brainstem. Okay, and on right hand side, this figure, this is the cross section. This figure is the cross section of midbrain. So now you have to imagine the entire midbrain in the three-dimensional way. Okay, it imagine that the midbrain in 3 dimension 3D view. Okay, so now and the 10th point, see, so aqueduct, this one is the in the center, they are showing the aqueduct, and this aqueduct delineates the cerebral peduncle ventrally from the tactum. Okay, so delineate means it is making the boundary, okay, between this one is the, for example, this one, this part, okay, this part is the cerebral peduncle, and this portion is the tactum. So this aqueduct is separating the cerebral peduncle and the tactum, and tactum, as you can see, tactum is forming the roof of midbrain. Okay, so this was the 10th point. Now surrounding the aqueduct, this one. Okay, so surrounding the aqueduct is the peri-aqueductal gray matter. Here the name is written, and all this part, see this one. Okay, this is the peri-aqueductal gray matter, and it is surrounding the aqueduct. Now this peri-aqueductal gray matter is involved in pain suppression. So it is relieving the pain. Okay, it is decreasing the sensation of pain, this peri-aqueductal gray matter. And also this gray matter, peri-aqueductal, links fear perceiving amygdaloid body. So amygdaloid body is for sensation of fear. It is receiving the fear sensation. And autonomic nervous system pathway controls the fight or flight response. So this center, peri aqueductal gray matter, is the connecting link between the amygdaloid body and ANS pathway. Okay, this is the 11th point. Now the 12th point. Now this peri-aqueductal gray matter also include nuclei, and this nuclei control two cranial nerve. Okay, and the name of the nuclei which are present in peri-aqueductal gray matter, their names are, one is oculomotor nuclei. So here in the figure you see they are showing this one, okay, oculomotor nucleus. But in the figure trochlear nuclei is not shown, but here we are remembering that in the peri-aqueductal gray matter two nuclei are present, oculomotor and trochlear nuclei are present, and this nuclei control two cranial nerves. This is the 12th point. Now point number 13. Okay. Okay. So point number 13. See, in the midbrain, white matter of the midbrain, nuclei are also present. So nuclei are scattered in the surrounding white matter of the midbrain. So midbrain's white matter is having nuclei. Now the name corpora quadragemina. That means quadruplets. Quadruplets means four. Okay. The corpora quadragemina, the largest midbrain nuclei. We are remembering this thing. Corpora quadragemina. First of all, let's look at them. Okay. So this one, here the name is written. Okay. Corpora quadragemina, and here this entire portion is the corpora quadragemina. Okay, so corpora quadragemina, the largest midbrain nuclei, and this nuclei raises four dome-like protrusions. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are dome-shaped protrusions. Protrusion means coming out. okay, and dome like they have bulge out. That's why. And where they are present? So on dorsal midbrain surface. So here the midbrain, this is the dorsal view. Okay, so on the dorsal surface of midbrain, quadruplets means four largest nuclei are present, and which are dome like protrusion, and they are known as corpora quadra okay. So this is the 13th point. Now the 14th point. Now in 14th point, see, superior colliculi. So superior pair, this one and this one, these two. The superior pair, superior colliculi, are visual reflex center. Okay, visual reflex means what we are seeing, what we are looking at, and what we have seen, and its reflex center is the superior colliculi. And this visual reflex center, they coordinate the head and eye movement when we visually follow a moving object. So when we are looking at the moving, let's say we are looking at the running bus or train, okay, and we can understand the bus is moving or the train is moving. It is due to the sensation of this. It is due to the nerve impulse when reached to the superior colliculi. And even if we are not consciously looking at it, that means, let's say on a railway platform, you are sitting on a bench and you are waiting for a train, for your train to come. And by the time one train comes and it is moving, okay, and it passes from the track, so even though you are not looking at the train properly, then also you are realizing that one train has passed, because it was not your train. You are not giving attention to that moving train, okay. So but you have realized that the train has passed, okay. So it is due to the nerve impulse passes, nerve impulse reaches to this two center, okay, these two nuclei, superior colliculi. So that is the meaning of this point number 14. Now the point number 15, inferior colliculi. Okay, over here this inferior colliculi are shown. Now this inferior colliculi, this one and this one, okay. So inferior colliculi are part of the auditory relay from the hearing receptor of the ear to the sensory cortex, okay. So hearing means we are listening something, okay. So from our ear, the hearing sensation, where it is reaching, see, part of the auditory relay from the hearing receptor of the ear to the sensory cortex. So that means from hearing receptor of the ear, nerve impulse first reach to inferior colliculi, and from inferior colliculi the nerve impulse is going to reach to the sensory cortex of our brain. And this inferior colliculi, they also act in reflexive responses to sound. So when we are listening something, that time they produce the reflexive responses. For example, the startle reflex. And what is this startle reflex? That causes you to turn your head toward the unexpected noise. So once again, let's understand this point with the same example. So you are on the platform, railway platform, and you are sitting on the bench and you are waiting for your train to come, and suddenly from the mic some announcement is going on, and the announcer announces that the train between A and B station is 2 hours late. So even though you are working on your mobile and you you was scrolling the screen of mobile, and during that the announcement came in the mic, and suddenly you turn your head and you try to listen what the announcement is. So this is called the startle reflex. Okay, and for this reflex the inferior colliculi is responsible. Okay, now the 16th point we are discussing. Yeah. Now once again, this is the this one is the cross section. This is the cross section of midbrain they are showing, and point number 16. Okay, now also embedded in each side of the midbrain white matter, okay, are two pigmented nuclei. So in short, for example, let me show you this. See, all this part, okay, all this region, this is white matter. Okay, here all this is the white matter. Okay, now all this part is the white matter, and inside there is a gray matter. Okay, so in this white matter region of midbrain, two pigmented nuclei are present, and their name are, these two nuclei are which are present in white matter of midbrain. One is substantia nigra, this one. Okay, this is substantia nigra, this one is the substantia nigra. Okay, and the second nuclei, red nuclei. So this one is the red nucleus. Okay, so now we are discussing point number 17, and in this point we are discussing about substantia nigra. Okay, so we are discussing about this part. Okay, now see, substantia nigra is a band like, okay, and is located deep to the cerebral peduncle. So let me show you this. This is the cerebral, this one is the cerebral peduncle. Okay, this one is the cerebral peduncle, and deep into cerebral peduncle this substantia nigra is present. Now the color of substantia nigra, so it is dark in color. Niger means black. Okay, so the why the substantia nigra is dark color. So the color reflects high content of melanin pigment. Substantia nigra looks dark. The reason is it is having high content of melanin pigment, and this melanin pigment is a precursor of neurotransmitter dopamine. So from the melanin, dopamine is formed, that we can say, and this dopamine is released from the neurons of substantia nigra. Okay, so substantia nigra, one more. So this is the main function of the substantia nigra, that the neurons of the substantia nigra releasing the dopamine. Okay, and dopamine is a neurotransmitter. Okay, then substantia nigra is functionally linked to basal nuclei. The axon of substantia nuclei, they project to the putamen. Okay, so substantia nigra's neurons axon, they are extending, they are projecting up to the level of putamen, and putamen basal nuclei. Okay, and many scientists, many researchers, they considered this substantial nigra as a part of basal nuclear complex. Okay, so many scientists believe that substantia nigra is a part of basal nuclear complex, and degeneration of the dopamine releasing neuron. Okay, if the number of the nerve cell of the substantia nigra, if the number fall, if number is decreasing, or the neurons are degenerating, okay, or if there is some kind of defect or injury to substantia nigra, in that situation what will happen? So degeneration of the dopamine releasing neuron of the substantia nigra ultimately causes Parkinson disease. So if the neurons of substantia nigra are degenerating, so the person will suffer from Parkinson's disease. And what happens in Parkinson's disease? So definition of Parkinson's disease: a disease that get worse over a period of time. Day by day the situation worsen up for a person who is suffering from Parkinson disease, and this Parkinson disease causes muscles to become weak, muscle of the patient become weak, and arms and leg to shake. So the arms and legs are shaking. Okay, so this is the Parkinson disease. Okay, and the final point of our discussion. So in this point number 18, now we are discussing about the red nucleus. So this is the red nucleus, this one is the red nucleus. So point number 18. Now the oval shape red nucleus, where they are present, lies deep to the substantia nigra. So here you see this one is the substantia nigra. Okay, and deep to it the red nucleus, this one is the red nucleus, is present. Okay, and its reddish hue, the meaning of hue is written over here if you are interested. See, the intensity of color, intensity of redness, है ना? Hue means intensity, very dark, light means dark red, normal red, light red, very light red, very dark red, that is hue, something related with colors intensity. So the reddish hue, okay, reddish appearance of this red nucleus, why it appears, why it looks red. So the reason is due to its rich blood supply. Okay, so high amount of blood supply is there in this red nucleus, and presence of iron pigment in its neuron. So the nerve cell of red nucleus, they are filled with Fe, iron pigment. Now function of red nuclei. Red nuclei are relay nuclei in some descending motor pathways. Descending means going downside. Okay, that causes limb extension. So from here, from red nucleus, we can say that some tracks, they descend towards the spinal cord, And from spinal cord, the nerves will reach to our arms and legs. So we can flex our arm and leg. Okay, that is the role this red nucleus is playing, and they are embedded in the reticular formation. Okay, so the nuclei of red nucleus, they are also participating in the reticular formation. And reticular formation, a system of small nuclei which is scattered through the core of the brainstem. So reticular formation is made up of small nuclei, and these nuclei are scattered in the center of the brainstem. Okay, so this is about the oval red nucleus. So all the theory points we have discussed, but before I say goodbye to you, I would like to show you all the figures, because all the figures are very important. Okay, so you go through all the figures and try to remember all the names. Okay, because all the names are very important, that's why. In this way, in this figure, okay, all the names. Okay, this one. Okay, in this figure, okay, regions of the brainstem key is given. In this figure, okay, midbrain. Okay, this one, this information, brainstem and cerebrum. Then in this figure, brainstem. Okay. Okay, so with this, we have completed the discussion on the brainstem midbrain. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation lecture, and I also hope that this presentation lecture will be helpful in your exam preparation and also in your studies. My name is Manish Kosti sir. I am from Ahmedabad, India. Bye bye. Namaste.